James, Logan is such a beautiful film. I loved
you.
it start to finish. But it was more about family and struggles of survival than it was a superhero film. It really was, and it had so much heart. Where did you get the inspiration for this movie?
I think other movies. I think that I mean, I'm not sure superhero movies are a genre to begin with. They just describe who's in it,
Right.
which are superheroes. But I think it's almost sad if you say, oh, it was so moving and intimate and interesting, I didn't think of it as a superhero movie. The reality would be, I think we need to try and find how to make those movies more interesting and intimate, because there's only so many worlds we can destroy.
Right.
And that's what comic books really were. I mean, when I collected when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, and avidly collecting DC and Marvel comics and reading them avidly, they were moving to me. They were interesting. I saw myself in them. I felt my world in them. Every one wasn't about whether Declopolis was going to blow up planet
Right.
Xenon. It was about these characters, their interrelationships, their rivalries, their past, their wounded feelings.
And this movie was very violent. You guys really used that R rating, the freedom that it provided for you. Do you think that maybe the success of Deadpool kind of paved the way for that?
Well, two things happened. I think that Deadpool we were already down the road of R before Deadpool was released.
Okay.
But I think that they did know the studio that they felt they had had a real success, even though it hadn't been released yet. That they had something people would be really excited to see. But I think you have to give the studio, all the studios, I think, credit, but particularly Fox, in the sense that they were aware, I think, acutely aware, that these bloated $200 million productions aren't quite creating the sensation they were 5 or 6 years ago. And that you get into a kind of arms race where you're just spending more, casting more, louder, faster, more, louder, faster, more.
Right.
But at some point, I mean, I can only speak for myself, and there's still some really good ones that come out now and then, but I find my eyes rolling up in my head, even as my ears and eyes are getting blown out with amazing visuals and sounds. I find myself just overloading.
Yeah.
And I swore if I was going to do another film in this arena, that to myself, that I wanted to do a film that was my kind of movie, meaning more as if I took these characters from the X-Men universe and put them in Walk the Line or 3:10 a Yuma or Girl Interrupted and made a film of mine with them,
Right.
as opposed to transforming myself into their world.
Right, and you can feel that passion when you're watching this movie. It's
Good.
completely on display, and I love it. But the one thing that really is going to stand out for people is these kids, and all the things you got these kids to do, and the powers that they had. I'm wondering, was there any other mutants maybe, or any kids that you were going to involve that didn't end up making the cut?
No, we were. I mean, I think that there's certainly little pieces here and there that didn't make it into the film, but this is who we wanted. You know, one of the things I modeled it after was, have you ever seen the John Wayne film The Cowboys?
Yeah.
Where, you know, in the end these kids all kind of come for his revenge, and which is also a big clue about what happens in this movie. But the reality is that was a big inspiration for me for this bunch of runaway mutant children.